Hi everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, good. Um, uh, well, good morning everyone, and congratulations for being selected for this Omdena project. And I'm really excited to have this project started. There's a very good mixed skill set of people, so it's definitely going to be fun. Still, I'm seeing some people are joining, so I don't know if we should wait a little. See, there are two more people popped in. Uh, Let's just wait for one more minute. I know you, all of you are in a different part of the world. I saw there's a big. Uh, pool. Okay, well, let's get started. This meeting is being recorded, so it's not a problem. Others can watch it later if needed. Let me share my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Hello.
Yep, we can hear.
Yep.
Okay, good. Let's get started. Okay, guys, congratulations for being selected for this Omdena project. It's a data science for climate change, or AI for climate change. And the idea is to mitigate greenhouse gases emissions by reducing energy consumption of buildings. And first of all, a brief introduction of myself. Well, the agenda of today's talk is, I'm going to introduce, of course, myself. We're going to go over the problem statement, going to discuss the learning outcomes as well as timeline, and when we have to finish this project, as well as there are some learning and development. Possibly there can be some workshops as well along the way, as well as there will be some membership rules, expectations from the participants, as well as what the benefit they will have by sticking with this Omdena and staying as their member. Well, a brief introduction to myself. My full name is Imran Yassin. Currently, I'm working as an automation scientist at J&J, Johnson & Johnson. I have 6+ years of experience working in different Fortune 500 companies like BP, Bayer, BSF, and a few others. And I thoroughly believe AI has a big potential to influence many industries. This is why for the last few years, I've been involved in some AI-related projects as well. I have done Coursera's TensorFlow certifications, PySpark specialization on big data, and a few others. Google Cloud stuff, I've worked on that as well for machine learning. And I've led a few projects in the past as well and have some accomplishments as well. But yes. So let's focus on this project. A bit background. According to International Energy Agency, for a life cycle of a building from construction to demolition, is responsible for up to 37% of global energy related and process related CO2 emissions only in 2020. But according to them, they think that easy to implement fixes and state of the art strategy can literally reduce those emissions significantly. One of them is their proposal is retrofitted buildings. Retrofitted building, for those who don't know, it's like the implementation of modification of existing buildings to improve their energy efficiency or reduce their energy demands. That's according to Google. And so retrofitting building can reduce heating and cooling energy requirements by up to 50 to 90%. Well, that is quite significant considering on a bigger scale globally, that can really adds up to being a meaningful account. The overall challenge will be, and when I say overall, it means this project is divided into two parts, which we split into 4 and 4 weeks each. Supposedly it should be 8 weeks long, but we split into 2. So the overall goal of this challenge, combining part 1 and 2, it's like in this challenge, the participants will analyze regional differences in energy, building energy efficiency. So like with that, I mean some regions are hot, some are cold, like in some places there's snows, the other places it's quite warm. Some had more rain than the other. And those different factors, humidity and all that stuff, adds up into how the building, we can make a model which can predict the building energy efficiency requirements as well. And that in the end will accurately, those predictions will help policymakers target retrofitting efforts to maximize emission reductions. So data overview, which I'm going to show in a bit as well. The data consists of which I'm going to about to show later and soon. It will have about 100K observation of building energy records, which is collected over 7 years and within the United States. And the data will have consist of building characteristics that includes floor area, facility type, as well as weather. As I said earlier, like depends where the building is, whether it's in a colder climate or in a warm climate, that can have effect of the annual average temperature as well as annual precipitation. That can also affect how much your building, which is over there, can ask for more energy. As well as the data will have energy usage requirement, usage for the building. And so which will be measured as site energy usage intensity. So our overall goal after part 1 and part 2 combined, when we gonna make the model in part 2, your task is to predict the site UIE for EUI, which is energy usage intensity, and which I'm going to show what do they mean by these, given the characteristics of the building and the weather data. And data will be giving all the characteristics of the building, like when it built, where it's located, as well as the weather location of the data. And based on those features, we will predict site energy usage intensity of the building. So in this part 1 of the project, which is a 4-week long from June 1 to June 29, the team will be preparing data for predictive modeling of energy consumption to help reduce greenhouse gas. With preparing data, I mean like cleaning data, converting data into appropriate data types, as well as doing data normalization, as well as first aspect is that. And then if team is interested, we can also consider some meteorological data like wind, temperature, wind speed, pressure, which we can read this article from here, and then add some other data from other sources and add within our own data to do further analysis as well if you are interested. That's something to task leads. I'm going to explain later. They can consider that as well. And along the way, we also have to choose a subset of appropriate features within from the data to see which one will have a higher impact on the energy consumptions of the building, which eventually will be used in building our model down the road. So our ultimate goal is to develop a model, which we will be doing in part 2 of this project, that can accurately predict energy consumptions and some of the techniques which we can use. We are not restricted, of course, in this project. Feel free to come up to ideas. We are just not restricted. That's just a skeleton. We can always add some more stuff to enhance our learning experience of all of this. But 2 of the models which we can consider and for the modeling will be artificial neural networks, as well as support vector machines as well. That can be used for prediction of building energy consumptions. But that's in part 2 of this project. So overall project, that's what I mean. Its overall project is supposed to be for 8 weeks long, but we decided deliberately to split into 2 parts. So to make it easier for those who doesn't have this background or new to this field, they can also join and feel comfortable. And those who know already, maybe they can lead those projects as well, become task lead, and then teach others as well if they wish. So in part 1, we'll be doing data pre-processing and data insights. With data insights, I mean, maybe you can consider some other meteorological data, which I just mentioned here, and get a feel of data, what kind of data it is and how to approach it, or how to clean it. And then also we'll be covering the exploratory data analysis. Once the data has been refined, like clean, normalized, converted into correct form, we can just make some meaningful plots, and which is called exploratory data analysis, and do some analysis. And with feature engineering, after that, do feature engineering. With that, just pick up the most important features from the data set, which has a higher impact on the energy consumption, which I just mentioned here, this point. And then finally, we will be just making our final presentation or whatever we did so far in this project. We'll just make the final presentation. But I was also thinking of a possibility, let's say in our pool, if we are doing much faster than what the timeline we anticipated. If you guys want in a team, if we all think, maybe we can replace this final presentation with this model development. if we are going in a faster pace. So we can, that's an optional part which we can bring it here in part 1. If you guys, if the majority thinks we can do it, or we should do it, so we can bring that here as well. If not, then we'll just wrap up with the final presentation. In the part 2, which is dates to be decided, in that one, we are supposed to be making develop a model, whatever the refined data we have, we'll use that to develop our model using at least these two, but we can use some other techniques as well to make those predictive model and compare different models, which we all will discuss later on how to approach that. We will be evaluating our model with these techniques, as well as we'll just deploy our model either to a dashboard or an app. We can either use Streamlit app or maybe go with AWS or something, which we all as a team will decide how to approach it as well. But that's in a lot part 2. So in part 1, I guess, as I already described earlier, first one will be doing, when I said data pre-processing, data inside. In that one, for pre-processing, with data pre-processing, I mean, maybe we'll be doing data cleaning, like removal of the outlier from the data set. We'll be treating all those missing cells, which I'm about to show what I mean with that, missing data from the data set. There are some data which have a different data type, so we'll convert into appropriate data type. Those data, as well as there's a data we need to normalize because our model can only understand 0-1 language. So of course we have to normalize the data as well. And then we'll have to make those plots of those data which we have, as well as we'll be doing feature selection to find the features that have a higher and larger influence on the model and eliminate the ones that are not much relevant on predicting the energy consumption of the building. As I said earlier, optional component of this part 1 of the challenge, we can also do make interactive plots displaying current energy consumption analytics of each state. We can compare each states as well, compare energy consumption, making interactive plot. We can also forecast the energy consumption using the past data and forecast for the consumption of energy in the future through time series analysis. So that's an open-ended. We can always add more value if we have more time to make it more meaningful or juicy. So this is the timeline, tentative timeline of this project. In task 1 and 2, first will be in a week 1. That will be in week 1, in which will be data processing, pre-processing. That means cleaning the data, converting into right form, normalizing. So that will be in part-time, as well as we'll be doing some data insight on what kind of data we have, and if you want to add another data source from elsewhere, from open source, and to elaborate further our current data, we can use that, and that will be in part 1 in week 1. In week 2, we'll be doing EDA. Once we have data refined, we will be going through some EDAs, exploratory data analysis, as well as with followed by feature engineering. In feature engineering, we look for the features that have the highest impact on the energy consumption. So that can be between week 2 and 3. And then in week 4, which is task 5, between 3 and 4, we'll be making the final presentation. And as I said earlier, if majority of us think, if you really want, maybe we can replace this final presentation with model development in that part. But for now, the idea is we'll be making final presentation. But that's later on in our later meetings, we decide how to approach it, and depends on the progress in this project down the road. And this is for future work, is for part 2 of this project, which dates will be decided later on. Up to here till here is only for part 1, which is this project is 4 weeks long, from June 1 till June 29. I think I already covered this early on for data pre-processing. Let me show you where the data is, so you guys can get a sense later on and can browse through later on. Data is here. I put it under discussion. There's a project management folder. Can you guys still see this Slack?
Yep.
Okay, good. So
Yes.
sorry?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Feel free to stop me if you have something to add, please. So under discussion, I put this project management folder. Any one of you can go click here. So over here, I've put the data sets. I highly encourage all of you to take a look. This is a training data set, which we'll be mostly dealing with training data set until test data set will be used in part 2 of this project when we'll be doing developing the testing the model, developing the model. Let me give you a sense of how it looks. It's a very nice data set. In our case, we are lucky, fortunate enough that we don't have to scrape and go to different sources to get the data. The data is already provided. This is data featuring all these different features, months wise, about the different temperatures as well, and different features of the data. There's actually a data dictionary, which are mentioning and describing all these fields which are mentioned here in the data set. So I highly encourage you to take a look, which is here already. So before opening data, I suggest open this data dictionary as well, so at least you can get an understanding of what the data is telling us. So as you can see, there are a few fields are missing, in which that's where the data cleaning part comes. Maybe we can replace this with zero value or mean value, or if you want to get rid of the rows or something. Depends. There are different approaches how to approach. So as a team, we'll decide how to approach. Probably task lead will decide, which I'm gonna tell later how that process works. In the end, this is site EUI, which I was talking about, that's given as well. There are some missing fields as well. So of course we have to take into account how we want to deal with data. So this is the data we all have to play with to be used in our project. And that has a data test set as well. So make sure you go over this data dictionary before you go open the data set. And then there's a problem statement here. I highly suggest you guys to read this. It's only 4 pages long, not too big, but go over that so at least you will get an idea what this project is. If the time will left, I can go over in the end, but this is what it is, this data set for all this project, which in part 1 of our project. As I mentioned earlier, I took a screenshot from here. Your task is to predict the site EUI, energy usage intensity. That will be in part 2 though, given the characteristics of the model which is given, of the data which is given. So this is how the data problem statement. So over time, we'll be recording the everything related to our project here. So that's your go-to place. For that, you have to go to Slack, go to discussion. There's a project management folder. With one-stop shop, you can just see that all. Okay, now going back to the meeting. In the same project management folder, I was thinking maybe to add one central, one Python, Google Colab file, in which is a central file in which anybody can access all different. Now we can import some relevant libraries and all, and then people can carry over and anybody can see what progress we have made so far in the project. As I mentioned earlier, the data has roughly 100K observations collected over 7 years and a number of states within the United States. And for data cleaning, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be fixing rows which has empty cells, as I showed earlier, converting data to the correct data type and normalize the data. In part 2, once that data is cleaned, we'll be doing some data analysis by making some plots of exploratory data analysis. I see most of you know, like making different plots to see how the data looks like it. And as I mentioned earlier, this guy, in fact, I'm going to post this article, which is mentioned here. There's an article mentioned on the backend. I'm going to post that article in our documents folder in that project management folder. So at least I encourage you guys to read it to get an idea what kind of plots we can make as well. And yes, any questions so far?
Hey, so every day we'll be having a live session where we'll be going through this problem, like on a recorded call, or we have to do it ourselves?
So that's an excellent question. After 2-3 slides, I'm going to cover this point. So let me just finish it. That's an important question. So I'm definitely going to address it soon. Thanks for asking.
I have a question on the plots and all that we are going to do. Are we going to do in Python or Tableau or something? Or that we are going to decide?
It's open-ended, guys.
Okay.
Tableau, Python, both we can do because we can try actually both. And I personally look for this project. Idea is for all of us to use these skills, which we are industry related as well, because most of us are working professionals or students who wants to go to work field. So I'm okay whatever the team decides, but I think Tableau is good too. Many recruiters these days ask for Tableau as well. So it's either way, you're open-ended, no
Okay.
restrictions for sure.
Okay.
Thanks for asking. And then for feature engineering, I think I'm keep repeating myself. For feature engineering, we can use these techniques like a Pearson correlation, embedded methods, random forest can be explored. There are different features. I noticed some of you, actually, many of you in this our pool of participants are have a lot of industrial background in this thing. They're already working on that. So feel free to add more stuff here. But at least these are the few things as a skeletal I'm saying we can use for the feature engineering, but feel free to add more, or we can always tweak around based on our need to enhance our learning experience. These are some of the techniques we can use for feature engineering, and then followed by a final presentation. Unless as a team we decide we want to replace final presentation with replacing our last week of this project with model development. So I think in later meetings we all will discuss how to approach that. There are some rules for membership. Everyone will be free to join the task they find best. Okay, I need to finish in 10 minutes. Everyone will be free to join the task they find best fit for them. However, I highly suggest it's not that advanced of a project, part one at least. I encourage everyone to take part seriously to get a learning experience, to make a best use of your time. It's only 4 weeks, only 2 times we'll be mostly meeting anyways per week. So it's quite manageable. It really pays out. I'll share my own stories as well down the road after 2-3 slides. So it's quite worthwhile. Also, new subtasks can be created. So as I said, if you guys have new idea, and you give a Tableau suggestion, or anyone you have new ideas, especially those who are working with these models in their work, they can come up with new ideas and they can discuss with task lead, and we can always add more stuff into this. Task leader will be okay. Task leaders, which I'm going to cover later on, they will be responsible to give presentation every week. So English will be the mode of the communication. Let me tell you briefly about Omdena. Omdena, those who don't know, it's an open source AI project community, and they are located in 50 plus countries. They have at least 10 plus projects per month. There are 180 plus collaborators per project, usually on roughly. It's really a great way. Seriously, I've been doing for quite some time now. It's totally worth it. Seriously, it's so much financially rewarding too. Once you have this experience, what you get from Omdena, at least I noticed there's a lot of job opportunities come, and very high, better than previously. So totally worth it to invest a month or two in these kind of projects. And also it helps. It's a great way to do some networking as well. So for Omdena, you can also do real world data science projects, or it also helps improve your data science and AI skills. You can network with a bunch of people, and you can see more benefits on this link. I'm going to share this slide in this project management folder, which I showed earlier through Slack. So I highly recommend to go over this slide as well. Also, feel free to join Slack, which you guys already did. And if you have any concerns, you can email at this email. Otherwise, there's another one, omdenaphiladelphia.chapter.com@gmail.com. I'm going to send that email, share that email in our Slack as well. There are few resources. I think we're running out of time. There's a GitHub link for those who are new, who don't know what GitHub is. They can go on this link, and there are many out there actually. Ideas to just put introduction to GitHub, and they will teach you what GitHub is. So you can watch this beginner's tutorial. And for project management folder, there's another GitHub. This guy is really showing some good stuff. In fact, I didn't know it before. So he's saying how you can organize to manage your task progress as well. What's the milestone there is, and who is the responsible for which task. I encourage you to guys watch this as well. We can adjust our task for priority, because from my past experience with the Omdena, I notice sometimes it can get difficult to keep a track who's doing what. And I'm sure we can facing that as well. So this is why I don't want that to happen. If you guys, if anyone feel lost, they can feel free to approach me. I don't want anybody to miss out, because it's a great project. You will see it. It's totally worth it. And also there's a discussion under this Slack. There's a discussion tab. This is where I mention what these tabs mean. So since we are running out of time, I encourage you to, meetings are for meeting announcement, problem statement. I already said, it says itself. There's a problem statement there. Discussion, a place to discuss the challenge. There are questions you can post here, tasks you can mention. There are task summaries. Task leader will be going over the task summaries. And there's a tools available for this challenge, support you can provide. So feel free to read this as well. And thank you. So here's the thing. Just let me cover last thing which I mentioned, posted in my phone. Who asked me about, so here's the thing on this particular, from my experience at least, I highly suggest those who have industrial experience. Hey. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Now, yes.
We can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
There was some song or something. I don't know. Maybe it's on my bed.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay, wait, no worries. So I highly suggest you guys to take part. Those who have experience in industry, definitely from my experience, I used to be a team lead as well, task lead as well. Totally recommended. Volunteer if you are interested to be a task lead. There are three main tasks. Mainly these for data pre-processing. I was thinking maybe we can go, whoever is interested for leadership opportunity, it really helps. Basically, when you are a leader, when you have to teach people, you learn yourself a lot. So there, I was thinking maybe we can have 3 task leads at least, or maybe task lead with his co-lead as well. There's one for data cleaning and data insights, one for EDA section, one for feature engineering. Let me know if you guys are interested for task lead as well. We can split those into different tasks, and then you'll be responsible for that part. Maybe we can, I was thinking in our central, I don't know who, somebody who asked, I was thinking to put one file in this project management folder and put a Google Colab file, which is a central Google Colab Python file, where we can access our own from here. But I was thinking, and feel free to correct me if you guys are, or suggest me something better. Then I was thinking maybe task lead can carry, let's say one guy, let's say Ryan, I don't know, let's say Ryan said, okay, he's a task lead for this guy. He said, okay, every week when we meet for first week, he's going to take care of some coding, and then we can have a live coding at that time in the session. And on back end, if somebody want to do something of their own, and the central file will be posted over there in this project management folder, and anybody can play around with the problem of their own as well. There will be relevant features posted, links like for data cleaning or for feature engineering, and then anybody can practice of their own. I was thinking maybe if we have some interactive sessions that can be helpful for all of us to learn, and that's one of the ways. And from my past Omdena experience, I know people, what happens since in this one, I highly encourage to post on Slack as well to remain connected, because I noticed due to lack of communication, sometimes people can get lost and they just drop out, but in the end they're hurting themselves. From my experience, what I did last time, I made a promise to myself that I'm going to stay till the end, which was really helpful. Many people drop out because they get lost and they leave. I think rather than they should ask the team lead or task lead to help them get on board. So I suggest stay till the end. If you guys have any questions, concerns, feel free to approach me. And I was thinking for beginners who are not comfortable with programming, maybe I can have those sessions and then I can go over for them extra help if they need. So far, I was thinking maybe we should have 2 meetings each week, because I know most of us are working professionals or students and time is precious. Maybe 1 hour long each, that's it. And maybe one we can keep on weekdays and one on weekend. Depends. I'm going to post a poll after this meeting, and then you guys will decide the time. Whatever the majority says, fix the time for me. That's when we're going to meet. And also, guys, I really request to give yourself and myself a favor. Time is precious. We are here for a reason. We want to learn and grow together. Please be comfortable with each other. Message each other, or maybe for next meeting we can have an icebreaker meeting as well, a game, so at least we can get to know each other. Because once we are more comfortable with each other, that's when we actually gonna get the most out of this experience. Otherwise, we don't have time to be on this platform. We want to learn and learn quick and make network and also improve some skills as well along the way. So please take the advantage. Hi, sir. Yes, Salman, please go ahead.
Hi, Imran. Thank you for explaining everything. So what I was wondering is it possible if we can do the meetings in the evening time? Because this is kind of like a pretty odd time for me. It is in the morning, so it's difficult for me to get on the meeting. If we can do in the evening, that would be amazing. Means I would be up for it, and I'm up for the task lead. I can take task lead for any of the steps that you want to assign it to me. Means I'm good with all the processes, feature engineering, or model development, or pre-processing, or something. So I'm up for it. Yeah.
Great. For task lead, I'm going to post these tasks on Slack. So you guys going to vote who's going to do what task. And there's a project management as well. I can have several leadership posts. You guys can vote your own self, and then we're going to go from there. But again, when task lead, it's also from my past experience, I noticed people take the task lead role and they are not keep themselves accountable. The idea is for the self-development as well to make sure you keep accountable. It's a 1 week task anyways for each week. So it should be pretty manageable. Sure, I'll keep that in mind, but keep in mind, I noticed we have people from all over the world. Some are from Japan, Australia, India, some are here. So, hello.
Hi.
Oh, perfect. It let us rejoin it. Oh, perfect. I didn't know this feature. Sorry about that. There was a 40-minute gap. This is why. Hey guys, so I'm gonna I don't know, where did I miss? So I was asking people I'm gonna post the positions on for task lead, so feel free to join to task lead, and there will be mainly for 3 tasks: for data pre-processing, EDA, as well as feature engineering, and there can be co-leads as well if you guys want, and there's one for project management as well. I can create one folder who can manage this GitHub stuff as well. And let me know any other questions you guys have. That's all I have in my agenda though. And one request to all of you, please be comfortable, guys. Really, we are all here to learn, so please be comfortable with each other as well. So any other questions for me?
No, nothing from me.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
No.
Okay, that's good. So I think I covered most of it. So I'm going to post the poll for the timings as well as for task lead. Once we know the task lead for this data cleaning and the first 3 tasks, then I was thinking maybe task leads can maybe on Google Colab. I'm also going to create a central Google Colab in our project management folder. So over there, task lead will do their progress. Anybody will be able to see. And when our meeting times comes, he can go over this live coding as well, what he did, and then we all can join and just comment as well and work as a team. And also, since in project management folder, we will have this Google Colab file. Anyone who wants to do some work on their own, they can do it as well. They can just download it and just play around with their own. And I'm also going to post some relevant links as well. So those who are newcomers, who are not comfortable with Python or this data science stuff, they should be able to follow this step by step, and they should be able to do most of the tasks of their own as well. And meeting wise, Salman's suggestion, I'm going to post links, and then you guys pick your own times, and I'll be flexible. Those who are not comfortable at all, feel free to message me that say, okay, Imran, I'm lost. I don't know what you said. I don't know how to approach. I'm more than happy to have one meeting for them every week to go over them all the codes. I'll just type it out and have a live coding session for them. And I think that should work. It's not that.
Imran, I have a question.
Please.
Like for the data cleaning part, so everyone will be coding on their behalf, and then we'll be meeting, discussing everything on the meeting. Like if I start working from tomorrow on the data cleaning part, so everyone who is there, like, will be working on it individually, and then we'll discuss everything in the meeting about our progress. Is it this way? Is it going to work?
So here's the thing, guys, and feel free to correct me. I was thinking one way is that all of us just download our own file and do our own data cleaning. But another way I was thinking to bring all of us at the same page, I was thinking maybe a task lead who's going to volunteer. He's going to do all the process.
Mhm.
And then when we have a meeting, he's going to show what he has done. There will be with task lead, there will be a code task lead as well. So two guys will be working on one big category. One big category is data pre-processing, one is EDA, one is feature engineering. And those guys will be responsible. They will do live coding when we meet. But in the meanwhile, and they will be responsible to post relevant stuff for data cleaning or EDA or feature engineering onto the Slack as well. So at least others can know what they are doing. They have to update us throughout the time on Slack as well. But in the meanwhile, if any one of us, as Roshni said, if he's want to do our own, we can just go to the project management folder, download our Google Colab file. There will be, I'm going to post the relevant links as well for data cleaning, ED, and feature engineering. You can follow that, whoever is new, and they can do their own as well. Because the idea is for us to learn our own, as well as with the team. So I think that should help us learn more. But if you guys have any good idea, please suggest me, because I'm also learning here.
Yeah, I think that will probably be the best way to do it. If the team lead takes the role and goes through their thought process and what they think is best, and then we can come together as a collaboration, discuss them choices, and if someone else has got something better, they can edit the code and we can update it and go from there. I think that's probably it makes the most sense, and I think it stops everyone doing the same thing and sharing ideas, because people approach things in so many different ways. I think that that will be probably the best way to do it.
Right. And in the meanwhile, before our task leads meeting every week, all of you do try out different things, and then you can in fact tell task lead, man, you didn't cover, which I think I did something better, and then help him improve, and we all as a team will grow together, right? Because all of us have different mindset, right? Okay, thanks guys. So are you guys on board? Any suggestions for me to improve or anything I can add?
Imran, I have a quick input.
Please.
Yeah, so like we already said that the process that we are deciding is good enough. I was just thinking if we can have a quick brainstorming session with the task lead on the task that we are performing. So task lead will have his own idea and other people will have their own idea. So before performing their task, we can have a quick, maybe a brainstorm before starting.
Oh, great idea, actually. Yes, it will be our collective ingredients on that.
Rather than telling him that you did not cover it later after seeing his or her presentation, we can have a brainstorm and decide what all we can do, and maybe divide the task also. Suppose there are 10 fields which are supposed to be pre-processed, so one person can work on one field, another on another field. But
I think that's a great point. No, I agree. What do you guys think? No, I agree totally. Actually, it will help him as well to approach how we want as a team. I think it's a great idea. What do you guys think? I'm okay. Sure. So let's say, let me post a poll in our Slack today. Then let me find out who the task lead is. So, okay. When do you guys prefer to meet, on weekdays or weekend? Like one day will be weekday for sure. But what about, do you guys prefer the other meeting to be on weekdays or weekend?
Weekend would be fine. That would be amazing. Yeah.
How about I'm going to post the poll, and then let's see what the majority says. I mean, I prefer weekend too, but still that depends what the majority says. But then our weekend should be manageable, right? Yeah, so I'm going to post the timings and you guys decide, and whatever the majority said, those will be the 2 meeting times we will meet. And so let's on our next. So my only concern is right now after hearing Komal. So this week has started, and let me share. Do you guys give me like 5 minutes? Let me share something very quick. I'm just afraid of the timeline. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is the timeline. This week has started. So if we meet this weekend, which is, let's say, assuming we go with Friday or Saturday, let's say 3rd or 4th, we need to give enough time to the task lead guy. I think that should be able to finish by 8th. Because we just need to finish that. I also want to make sure that we respect our deadlines too, because we have to respect deadlines. So do you guys think we'll be fine?
So the task has to be finished by the next time we meet. This is what is the expectation.
By this date.
Yeah, but then suppose we are meeting on Friday and we are expecting task leads to show the progress. So the task should be finished. The task pre-processing, data processing that you're talking about.
Oh, no. Okay, that's fine. So, okay, for this Friday, let's say.
I'm asking. Is it the expectation?
No. Our goal is to finish by this date. So by 8th is the maximum data pre-processing guy needs to finish with a team. And I think that's enough time, because those who are in industry, I know they can knock out this project in 2-3 days as well if they want to.
Yeah.
So I think that should still be the idea is that we respect our deadlines as a team. And if we have more suggestions, we add more into it. This is a skeleton. So feel free to bring new ideas, add more on it. We also want to learn. I have a job as well, but I'm here because we all want to learn together. We have tons of things going on. So I think on Friday, we will discuss, have a brainstorming session. And then we will have by 8th to finish, get done this first task, which is pre-data pre-processing. Does it make sense?
That way everybody gets the time to go through the data to look at what they can contribute or how they can approach it.
Yep.
And yes, I think by Friday, everyone should take a look at the data, should come up with their ideas, note down their ideas, and during the Friday meeting, we can talk about it. Everybody can share their ideas, so then we can put together best ideas together and
start working.
Move on from
there.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I'm really excited, by the way. I'm glad you guys are showing interest. So yes, anything else for me? Otherwise, that's how it looks so far.
Hi, I had a quick question. Looking over the data dictionary, there's just a couple of definitions that, looking at this, I'm just trying to understand a little bit better what they actually mean. So cooling degree days. It says a cooling degree day for a given day is the number of degrees where the daily average temperature exceeds 65 Fahrenheit. Each month is summed to produce an annual total for the location of the building. So essentially what we're saying is that if it's like 70 degrees on one day, we're putting 5 down for that day. And then like if it's 80 degrees the next day, you would put down 15. And then at the end of the month, you would add those two together to get 20, and then we're summing that for the entire year for that building. I was just looking through the data, and that's the only thing. Like that one is very confusing to me. What that's actually trying to tell us. I don't know if there's a better definition somewhere.
To be honest, I have only skimmed over data. Like you guys, I also have to dig deep and then play around with the data yet. So I can get back to you on that. It's a very good question. I'm sure all of us will face this ambiguity down the road. So let me do my own research, understand, and then go to you. I don't know yet. I have to dig deep as well, like you.
It was just something that I was looking at. I was just trying to make sure that I understood the data that I was looking at rather than just jumping in.
No, that is very important. Actually, that's an excellent approach. And that's why I shared this data dictionary, because we need to understand what these means are. Otherwise, we cannot do anything with this data, at least meaningful. So, no, good point, Michael. Let me get back to you on that. Let me understand as well.
Thank you.
I'll message you. Anything else, guys?
All right. I would like to ask a question, please.
Okay, please.
All right. Why we were talking earlier before the meeting went off, we were talking about newbies into the data science and also so kind of new in this, and I just want to try out project that's really helped me and learn much more about data science because I'm an enthusiast for this. So
for some reason, can you speak loudly? I'm not able to.
What ways can you be of help to me in particular? Can you hear me?
It's just low. Let me adjust mine. Can you say it again? I really apologize. Can you please repeat?
Hello.
Yes, better.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I was talking about me being a newbie into the business of data science itself. And earlier, before the call went off, we were talking about organizing classes or get together for people that are actually new. Because I don't know about others, but I'm actually new into science.
Okay.
So, what steps are you? Because I'm actually interested in the project itself. Looking at what we've talked about so far. So what steps are you going to put in place for someone like me?
Good. So I was thinking to create another channel on Slack for beginners or those who don't have background. I noticed some of them don't have experience. So it will be step-by-step on how, do you know a little bit of Python though?
Yeah, I know a little bit of Python.
Okay, good. I'm going to post, as I said, in the Google Colab central repository file, I'm going to post initial links will be for beginners. That will go step by step of how to do data cleaning, how to import files, each and everything very fundamental level, which I was thinking it's going to help those who are beginners. You can follow that. I was thinking maybe if there are enough pool, you guys can message me among all the pool. They can message me that, okay, Imran, let's say 5-6 people say, okay, we are not interested or we are not comfortable. So just message me. I can organize separate meeting for you guys and just go over some of the task with you, like live coding for you and just explain it to you. That can be another way as well, I was thinking. But that one, not others have to come, because I know, I guess that won't be the official one. That's just a side help for other people. But based on the stuff which I'm going to post, you will find it's very self-explanatory as well. And feel free to message me, Josh, if you feel it's nothing making sense. Feel free to message me. I don't take it personally, because my goal is everybody to understand. Otherwise, I'm going to win if you guys win, if you all learn. So please message me, and I'm going to try my best as well. But thanks for bringing to my attention. I'll keep that in mind. Any other question, guys?
All right, thank you.
I'll message you, by the way, later on. Any other questions?
Yeah, so I was just wanted to know, like, what is the agenda for the next meeting? Going through the data set and understanding what will be the first approach that we take?
Yes, for now, because it's a 2 days after, just to get a feel of data and bring for data cleaning approaches, whatever stuff we read online, and just so at least whoever the task lead gonna be, which we're gonna find out hopefully later today, based on majority's opinion, we're gonna share with him what we think and how we should approach, so that at least he can take notes, and then he can say, okay, that's how we should approach. Then next week, I was thinking maybe with a task lead to also assign other leadership position, co-task lead. So like 2 people work together, and then they present together, and then we all give our opinion and also share our what we also learn.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you.
But right now is to get an idea of the data, to read some relevant stuff on data. Any other question, guys?
No, we are good.
Okay, good. Let's wrap it up. So today for 2 tasks for me is that put a poll for the timing as well as for the task lead, and ask people to volunteer. I highly encourage those who are comfortable with this data modeling and all that stuff. They should, in the end of the day, when you teach other, you learn your own, and it's totally beneficial. At least from my industrial experience, I really learn a lot. So definitely highly recommend it. Okay, guys, I think it's enough for today. Feel free to message me if something is unclear, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the time, and then we'll see you guys hopefully Friday or Saturday. Okay.
Thanks very much. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You
Thank
are-
you. Bye. See you. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.